Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. At least for people who are in the afternoonish time zone. It is 1:54 p.m. here in Toronto. Today is Sunday, August 31st. Hi, everyone. Welcome. As you can see, I'm outside. Hopefully, the internet's a lot better today than it was yesterday. For those of you who were on yesterday's live stream, that ended very quickly because the internet connection was really spotty because I was just in an area of the house I'm staying in that just wasn't really working well. And I couldn't move because we had a family get together and there was just a ton going on. So I made a video instead. I did see that some of you were able to catch that yesterday. Today, we're in a different environment out on the back porch. Aisha says much better. I'm glad I'm not getting any notifications for low Wi Fi. So hopefully it'll stick good throughout. There are bees back here. So if all of a sudden you see me jump out of this chair, that's because I'm trying to get a bee off of me. Let's hope I don't get stung on live stream because that would be pretty awful. So, a lot to talk about today. Before I continue, though, Prod Select, Carnivorous Teacher, One Brick, Aisha, Angela, hello, welcome. Nice to see you. Welcome to today's Sunday live stream. Today is an earlier live stream. Usually on Sundays, I live stream later in the evening, but I do have plans tonight. As you can see from the title, I am on vacation, so I am still trying to be accountable throughout vacation. I did see this comment here from Brick. Brick says, "You've been taking a lot of vacations. Business must be good." Here's the thing is I might be on vacation, but I'm obviously still working. I literally work every single day. So even though I'm on quote unquote vacation, it's more so I'm on vacation for eating than anything else. I'm still working, I'm still doing what I have to do, and we can call this a vacation. I mean, I'm just with family in Toronto here, but yeah, we can call it vacation. So, um, okay, so let's talk about vacation, right? Let's talk about um, how things are going, how vacation, right, can be vacation can be a tough thing for many of us because vacation means eat whatever you want, don't be as accountable as you typically have been. And that is for me basically how I go through my vacations. On my vacation days, I'm like, it doesn't matter what I eat. It doesn't matter if I get my steps in. It doesn't matter if I'm not being as mindful. But that's something that I want to change. I know not every day is going to be as accountable as I am right now. I'm not on some, you know, tropical vacation where I am on the beach all day. I'm literally staying with family, so I have the opportunity to still live stream while I'm technically on vacation. And I have my cup of black coffee here as we are having this stream outside. And the interesting thing is I'm on vacation right now, and today's day 3 of vacation, and I'm not eating yet. I'm currently fasting, but even on day 1 of my vacation, when I flew in here, I was fasting. Technically, on vacation, I would eat. I'd eat at the airport, I'd eat on the plane, I'd accept anything they would give me to eat. And I said, no, I'm just going to go ahead and fast today because my flight was later in the early evening. By the time I landed, it was later in the evening, and I'm like, I'm just going to sleep through this. And of course, I fasted through it. Yesterday, I woke up and hit a new low. But we'll talk about all of these numbers, right? So like I said, today is Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Today is Sunday, and every Sunday that passes by is another week of my journey, another week of pushing forward. Today's the last day of August. I have been on this journey now for 95 weeks, 665 days into this journey. Has it been perfect? No. There has been a lot of good days, and there have been some tougher moments, some struggles, some ups and downs in my journey. But I don't say, okay, it's time to start over. Let's start over day one. How ridiculous would it be right now if I said, oh, you know what? Yesterday we had a family party. I ate whatever I wanted. And you know what? Let's start today. Today's day one. There's no point in doing that. For many of us, we get into this cycle of, oh, you know what? It's the weekend. Let's just start on Monday. Let's just start on Monday. How many of you are here right now? Probably saying something similar. How many of you are looking at the day today and you're like, ah, you know what? It's it's Sunday and it's August 31st and tomorrow's the first day of the month. Let's just start September 1st, right? Let's just start the first day of the month. When instead you should be continuing on your journey regardless of the day, regardless of what number of the month it is, because then in that regard, you will find yourself looping and going through this cycle of, okay, I'm going to start this day, I'm going to start that day, kicking the can down the road, finding yourself in that all or nothing mentality. So I really, I want to keep hammering that down, that you don't have to start over. All you have to do is stay accountable with what you're doing, be mindful of, hey, today's going to be a day where I'm going to eat what I want. It's going to be okay. I don't have to start over in that regard. Bruce Wayne from Facebook. Hi, Bruce Wayne. I don't think I've seen you here before. I always like to see people from Facebook because I don't have a lot of people who watch me on live on Facebook. Jerome, where are you now? Chicago? No, I'm currently in Toronto right now. I will be back in Chicago next week, but currently in Toronto. But I won't be in Chicago for much longer because I am going to be moving out of the country. So I have been daily live streaming now for over a month, which is crazy. I would have never guessed that I would have been live streaming every day for this long. Technically, I didn't live stream yesterday. I mean, technically, I did for like 10 minutes. And then the internet was so bad that I had to make a pre recorded video instead. But that was me showing my accountability. But one of the reasons I have been doing this on a day to day basis is because I had started to find myself slip, and I ended up gaining 30 pounds in about 5 weeks, a little over a month ago. And I've told this story day after day after day. But gaining 30 pounds in 5 weeks is not something that I was wanting to do. It was not something that I expected, but I felt very overwhelmed. I began to stress eat. Me moving out of the country really messed with my head, and I found myself getting out of control. Gaining the 30 pounds in the 5 weeks and not showing up and not being accountable, it reminded me of how important accountability is. And that's why I'm like, no, I'm just going to do these daily lives, even if it's 10 minutes, even if it's 15 minutes, to just be like, hey, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. This is where my head is at. We're doing this together. And this is what I love too about this community. This is why I love doing this every day, because I see people here in chat and I see people here sharing how things are going and what they're doing and what they're accomplishing. I mean, I usually call Aisha out here, but Aisha's here every day. Aisha's sharing her journey with us and has been going through it's 5 weeks, right, Aisha, of fasting every single day and just pushing it, getting through her journey. And I'm seeing other people here that I don't normally see here. Alex Miner saying, just did my first 100+ hour fast of the week. I saw something from Thomas here saying, I reached my goal, right? People sharing their successes, which is amazing. And I love that. And I'm here for that. And many other people are here for that too. But this is also a reminder for anybody who's here that we're here to share our good and our bad. I know that it's difficult to share when you're struggling. I know it's difficult to share when things aren't going the way that you are expecting it to, but there's a lot to be learned if you show up when you're struggling. There is a lot to be learned when you are here and you're like, hey, this is still important to me. My health is still important to me. I know that I am not doing the things that I should be doing, but I want to make a change. Instead of completely avoiding, instead of completely saying, you know what, I don't even want to worry about today. I don't want to worry about anything that I'm doing today because I just want to forget about it. I'm just going to order food. I'm just going to lay on this couch. I'm just going to turn on the TV and I'm just going to forget about all my problems for the rest of the evening. Because you know what? Tomorrow is September 1st, and September 1st is a new day, and that's when I'm going to start. And that's a really slippery road to be on because that kind of mentality, for many of us, it really gets us into this bad cycle of starting over, waiting till Monday, waiting till the first of the month, waiting till after the holidays, waiting till after your birthday passes. We have to get ourselves out of that cycle and realize that your journey has started years ago, decades ago. Your journey is going to have bumps in the road. Your journey is going to have imperfection, and that's okay. If there's anything that I can at least teach and share on here, is that when things are not going well, when you are struggling in the way that you had not anticipated, come here, share with us. I'm here for it. That's literally why I'm doing what I'm doing. Yesterday, I had a family party. There was a ton of food and I ate a good amount. But I'm here today to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to let everybody know this is what I ate because I literally recorded it. Now, I couldn't record myself eating like I normally do because there were like 40 people here yesterday, if not more. But I at least recorded my food. I want to talk about it. I roughly estimated my calories. So we'll get into that. When I ended up gaining 30 pounds in 5 weeks about a month ago, I put myself into a fasting routine. I live streamed. I said, hey, I'm going to be here every day. I'm going to do daily live streams and be accountable. And being accountable in that way has really, really put my mind in check, has really reminded me that when I am accountable, when I am transparent, when I am not hiding, when I am not being avoidant, right? When I am not quote unquote forgetting my days, I can do great things because I know that I have to show up for other people. So on the 23rd of July, I got myself back into an alternate day fasting routine. I lost 21 pounds in 18 days. I have also had days where, and I call them my quote unquote 20% days, when I eat more than normal, when I am not counting calories as diligently. After losing 21 pounds, after doing 9 rounds of ADF, I had a 20% day where I ate with friends and family and I ended up eating 7,500 calories. I ended up doing a long fast to counteract that, doing a 90-hour fast, lost that weight, went back into ADF, had another quote unquote 20% day where I ate 4,800 calories, did a 67-hour fast, a 66-hour fast, had another 20% day where I ate 6,300 calories. And then to offset that, most recently, it ended yesterday, I had a 60-hour fast. I ended up losing 29 pounds in the last 39 days. I bring all of this up because you'll see, right? In the last 39 days of my journey, I have lost 29 pounds, but it wasn't just 39 days of fast, 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 right? It wasn't 29 days of perfection, 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 perfection. It has been 39 days of some really good fasting days, some longer fasting days, like a 90-hour, but a lot of shorter fasts, 40-hour fasts. A lot of days where I was eating 3,000 calories, 3,400 calories, 3,200 calories, a good amount of food, eating what I wanted. And then I had some days where I ate 5,000 calories, 6,000 calories, 7,000 calories. And I'm still hitting record low weights, right? That is the power of imperfect consistency. That is the power of accountability, is that no matter how bad some of the days get, I throw myself back into a routine. And I'm like, okay, push on. Let's keep going. You know what you need to do. Just do it, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to fast for as long as I am. It doesn't mean that you have to eat the way I eat. What it means is if you can't fast as long as I can, then you have to be a lot more mindful about the way you eat. If you can't fast for as long as I can, then you have to make better choices when it comes to your food. They do not have to be perfect choices. Yesterday, for me, there was a ton of food here. And as bad as I wanted to eat everything, I actually didn't. I put a lot of control to what I was doing versus what I used to do before. The overall big picture of what I've been doing for the last month or 5 weeks or so is I've lost 29 pounds, starting my weight at 169.6 down to 140.4. Now, I also know I didn't lose 29 pounds of fat in 39 days. A good amount of that is water. A good amount of that is the food that was in me on my last refeed. But to see the number on the scale go down, it's nice. It's a good reminder that what I'm doing is working. But that number on the scale is only a number on the scale. It isn't the be all end all. It's a good guide. And that's kind of what I take it for. It helps me make better decisions. It helps me stay on task. It helps me and reminds me what's important. Because even if the scale were to uptick, right? Even if the scale were to push up on the scale, or even if the scale were to push up in weight, when I look at that number, it doesn't demoralize me. It doesn't devalue me. I look at that number and I'm like, okay, get my head in the game. Does that mean I need to tighten up on my fasting routine, on the way I eat, right? If I step on that scale and it pushes me, it encourages me to continue good, healthy habits, the more power to me, right? The more power to you. Now, on the other side of things, if you step on that scale, you look at the number and you're like, ah, what's the point of this? I should just go eat because this fucking scale, blah, 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 right? And then you're going to give yourself whatever excuse to then do bad, unhealthy, toxic habits, right? Then you really need to think or rethink about your actions when you step on the scale. Are there any of you right now that can be honest about that in chat? How many of you step on the scale and if the number goes up, it discourages you so much that you start sabotaging, that you start performing bad, unhealthy habits? Maybe the first step here is being able to admit that and be like, yeah, it's something that I need to fix. When I see the number on the scale push up, I can't help myself but sabotage myself. And if that's what you're doing, take a really good look at that action. Ask yourself why you're doing that. Because you know that performing bad, unhealthy habits isn't going to fix it. That's why you'll see when I push up on the scale, even 2 refeeds ago, when I gained 11 pounds after eating 6,300 calories. When I gained 11 pounds after eating 6,300 calories, did I restart over? Did I say, okay, let's just eat everything today and do day one all over again? Right? I kept my routine in check. I kept my fast going. And sure enough, even though I gained 11 pounds, I lost about 12 something pounds after pushing another 65-hour fast because I trust the process. I know that what I'm doing are good, healthy habits, regardless of what the scale says. So, regardless of what the scale says, I'm like, it's okay because I'm still practicing good, healthy habits. For you to consider, hi, for you to consider. I don't know if I've seen you here before. Have I? Do you also journal? So, oh, well, let me read through this. Many say this is a great tool to express their feelings instead of eating them. Not sure if it suits everyone, though. So, for you to consider, this is actually a great question and a great tactic. I have clients that I work with that journal. Every client that I work with, every client that has had a session with me, they get a spreadsheet. And on that spreadsheet, it's a spreadsheet that is shared between me and my client. And there is a section there for them to journal. And there are many that journal. There are many that write what they're feeling and how things are going and what they're struggling through and good moments and bad moments. But you're right, it is a great tool. And you're also right, it might not suit everyone, but this is a great tactic, even for people who are here, right? How many of you journal? Is it helpful for you? One of the reasons I do these daily live streams is because it's like a live journal for me. Maybe some of you don't realize that, but that's the reason I talk through a lot of these things. It helps keep me in check. And in a way, this is just like a video journal of, hey, here's what happened to me yesterday. Hey, here's where I'm at today. And even though the topic might be the same over and over and over again, it doesn't really matter to me because it keeps me accountable. And I'm starting to realize it keeps many of you accountable too. So this is a great tool. I love that you bring this up because it's not something that I normally bring up with others. But if you find success doing it, go for it, right? For many of us, we are eating because we are trying to avoid something. For many of us, we are eating because we're trying to forget something. We are trying to comfort in a different way. We are trying to procrastinate working on something overwhelming. I just told all of this to you. The reason recently I gained 30 pounds in 35 days is because I was moving out of the country. There's a bee passing by, and I don't really want it in my face all day. And now it's by my cough. See, I knew this was gonna happen. There are a lot of bees back here. There's like a garden like behind in this area. That's a little embarrassing, but that's okay. Anyway, where was I at? See, I lost my train of thought because of the bee. um, I do this every day for accountability. It helps keep me in check. And hopefully for some of you, you find that helpful as well when I do this. I realize this because there are a lot of people who come back here every day and share their progress. And so it reminds me, it's like, this is helpful for me. It can be helpful for others. I might well share it with them as well. So to continue on with the nerd stats, actually, even before I show this, I mean, you've already seen it, but let me talk about yesterday's refeed. So yesterday was day number 2 of my vacation. I'm here in Toronto. I'm here with family. I'm not doing anything super special. Being with family and close ones is special enough for me in that way where I don't have to go anywhere exotic. It's just nice to be with family. And yesterday was my tita's birthday, my aunt's birthday, and we had a birthday party, and there were a lot of people, and there was a lot of great food. And after I was coming off of a 60-hour fast, I said, okay, it's time to eat. But I tried really hard yesterday to not make it a quote unquote 20% day where I was just going to overdo it in calories. So let me show you what I ate yesterday. Here is an overview of pretty much all the food that was there. And this is only a small portion of the food that was there. Um, and again, I am not going to be on camera showing what I ate, but this is my first plate of food. This is what I broke my fast with. There is lumpia here. Lumpia is like these small egg rolls with like meat and spices, and they're amazing. If you've never had lumpia Shanghai, Filipino lumpia Shanghai, I'd highly recommend it. There is roast beef on this plate. There is shrimp on this plate. There is salmon on this plate. Notice I didn't add any rice. I am one to eat a ton of rice, didn't add any rice to this. One of the reasons I did that is because I was putting some mindfulness into my eating. I really wanted rice. It sounded great, but I told myself, just keep it at this. And then at the bottom there, that is a small thing of caldereta, which is it's kind of like a stew. This is with goat, so goat caldereta. Um, and again, I couldn't show myself eating it because there was like 40 people. There were a lot of people that I had just met, and I wasn't going to be putting a camera to my face eating that. But I wanted to show it for accountability. This is my second plate. I ended up getting more roast beef. I ended up getting more salmon. And this is a plate of pasta. I don't know what kind of pasta, but it was pretty good. So I did get carbs for the second plate. I did get a little more lumpia as well. Um, this was dessert. So, okay, even before I talk about dessert, here's the thing. I still could have eaten more food. I could have easily eaten another plate of rice and salmon and caldereta and got more lumpia Shanghai, but I was like, okay, that's it. Let's keep it to dessert. And even when it came to dessert, right? This is cuchinta. I don't really know how to explain this dessert. I think it's a rice dessert. I forget. But we also had leche flan, and as much as I wanted to eat that, I know how high calorie, how 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 really unhealthy it was. So I actually stayed away from it, and that's not something I typically do. I don't typically say I'm not going to have any leche flan. Um, there was a ton of other desserts, and I have a very big sweet tooth, and I will usually have every single dessert that is there. And I told myself today's not a 20% day, Jerome. Today, you're still going to be mindful about how you eat. And that's exactly what I did. So I did give myself dessert, but I had only 3 pieces of cachinta. I did have a slice of birthday cake, but this was a very small slice. And then after, okay, so before you see that next scene, after that slice of cake, I didn't eat for maybe another 4 hours. I put a lot of space in between eating. Like I said, this is typically not something I do. If you have all watched me eat, especially on my days when I'm eating whatever I want, I will eat and snack and eat and snack and eat and snack throughout the day. This is new for me. It is new for me to limit my calories. It is new for me to make more mindful choices, especially on a get together when there's literally food all over the place. This is very, very new for me. And it felt very weird doing yesterday. Limiting calories is something I have been doing more recently, which is why I have been able to limit my calories to around 3,000 versus when I used to eat 6,000 calories per refeed. So a couple hours later, there was so much left over. There was so my family cooks a lot, and there were trays and trays of leftovers. And so last night, when when I told myself, okay, have another meal, I could have picked more roast beef. I could have picked more of the higher calorie foods. I could have grabbed a ton of dessert. But what I ended up doing instead is there was leftover rotisserie chicken from a couple days ago. And you'll see there are also two empanadas in there. I didn't eat those empanadas. I just had the rotisserie chicken. I had this drumstick, and then this is another thigh and drumstick, and that's all I had when it came to that. And after I ate that, no one, everybody had left. I was the only person in the house later in the evening. Now, this is ube halaya, and it is one of my favorite desserts, if not probably one of my all-time favorites outside of pumpkin pie and cheesecake. So I did treat myself to ube halaya. It is like I don't know how many of you have had ube, but this is like an ube paste, an ube jam. This is purple yam with like mixed with condensed milk and probably added sugar to it. One of my favorites. And the one thing I didn't show there is I ended up having tortilla chips. My aunt and my uncle have so many bags of chips in their house. And I told myself, okay, Jerome, because I did this last time in June when I was here in Toronto. Last time I was here, I was literally eating bags of chips and I had not eaten chips in forever. And so I told myself, don't do it this time. I found myself doing it. I ended up grabbing some tortilla chips. I had about two servings worth, but I cut it at that. And I said, I cannot keep doing this. So I cut it, I left it at that, and that was it. That was my refeed um, yesterday. So calorie wise, and I'm sorry, I'm like switching screens here so I can look. My total calories yesterday was 3,625 calories and 155 grams of protein. So I was over my 3,000 calorie limit at 3,600, but it wasn't crazy like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 calories, right? Like I was able to keep my calories in check. Is it where I wanted it to be? No. But at the same time, it isn't the worst in the world. And for me, I still credit this as an 80% day because there was a lot of control put in here. There was a lot of more mindfulness into it. Was the food as clean as I normally eat? No, absolutely not. I don't have control of the food that was being made. I don't have control of the choices there. I mean, I do have control of the choices. I'm sure there are maybe some better choices that I can make, but I felt like I did pretty good compared to how I normally do on my regular refeed. So my protein was a little lower, only 150 grams, I believe. Is that what I said here? But for the most part, I take it as a win. It's also a win because I didn't even eat yesterday. Yesterday was a completely fasted day on a vacation day, which is really more unheard of for me. So that's the wrong clip there. So to talk about now, my last 17 refeeds, because yesterday's refeed ended up being, where is my thing here. Yesterday's refeed ended up being 6 hours and 38 minutes. So a little longer than where my time is. Usually my refeed time is around 4 hours. This was a little longer because I told myself, I was like, okay, you're on quote unquote vacation. You're going to be a little more lenient when it comes to the calories you eat. Just don't make it a 20% day where you're going to give yourself 5, 6, 7,000 calories. So I tried to keep it under 4,000 and I kept it right around 3,600. I take it as a win. Maybe not a win for other people, but definitely a win for me. Um, so my last 17 refeeds, my refeed time is 4 hours and 25 minutes over the last 17 refeeds. My average calories per refeed at 3,500. My average protein per refeed around 200 grams. So my calories still a little higher. I want to get that number under 3,000 when I do refeed, but not the worst thing in the world. My last 9 refeeds, I have been tracking my calories now for the last 5 weeks, right? But my last 9 here, you'll see highlighted in yellow are my 20% days where I am eating more than usual. The orange highlights are when I go over 3,000 on my 80% days, but still more control than ever. And then yesterday, vacation, where I did have 3,600 calories, but on a vacation day, I take that as such a big win for me. And the fact that yesterday was a vacation day and I didn't eat at all yesterday. These are very new things that I'm doing. And I'm not saying that you need to fast on your vacation day. I'm not saying that you need to do exactly what I'm doing on my vacation. I mean, let's even talk about yesterday. Yesterday, when I ate, before I ate, I walked a good amount. I think my step count yesterday, and I'll have that as a later screen, was around 16,000 steps or 15,000 steps. I still went to the gym and I lifted weights yesterday. Even when I was 50 plus hours fasted, I went to the gym and lifted weights because I have a lot more free time now that I'm done moving. And I was like, okay, let me just go for a small lift. And I did. And today is no different, right? I woke up today. I was like, you had all those calories, got up in the morning. There's a bee trying to get to my coffee. And now he's probably upset because I wouldn't let it have my coffee. And a little embarrassing, but that's okay. Um, this morning when I got up, I went for a walk again, walked to the gym, lifted heavy at the gym because I have all those calories in me, and then walked back. I got a good hour and a half of walking in this morning because why not? I have the energy to do so, right? And this morning, family right away. Jerome, what are you going to eat? Are you eating? Are you eating? Right? There's food everywhere right now. As I'm talking, families in the house right now, and they're all eating, right? They have been. There are snacks everywhere, and I haven't eaten yet. I mean, as we're having this conversation, as I'm sharing this with all of you right now, whenever this app decides to open, I am currently there's like so many bees here. I'm currently 18 hours fasted, right? Or almost 19 hours fasted. Or no, 18 hours fasted. 18 and a half, just about. And I haven't decided if I'm going to eat yet today because my family's going out to dinner. There are plans later tonight, and I'm debating if today is going to be a 0 calorie day. But I have also considered if today maybe I'll eat, but I'll have one meal and maybe I'll keep it super low cal and just cut calories. This is something I've never done before. I don't think I have had a day where I have had, and when I say super low cal, like imagine if I decided that I just want to eat some fruits and a piece of meat or whatever. and maybe keep it at 1,000 calories or even keep it at under 2,000 calories. I can't remember the last time I've had something like that in forever. That bee is like right in front of my. I say all of these things because these are all different tools that I can use. Fasting is a tool. Fasting for a short time is a tool. Fasting for a long time is a tool. Being mindful about the choices that I make when I eat is a tool. Limiting calories is a tool, right? They are all tools that you get to use. Do not, do not, do not, do not, do not force yourself to do one specific thing and say, this is the answer. This is the only way. Nothing else matters. Fasting is a tool. Eating clean is a tool. Limiting your calories is a tool. Exercising is a tool, right? Shortening your refeed is a tool. Not snacking in between meals is a tool. You have to use all of these tools to your advantage instead of saying, this is the only way to do it and nothing else matters. When you put that kind of bullshit in your head, you're limiting yourself by so much. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to give yourself grace and be like, hey, it's okay to do this every once in a while. It's okay to be imperfect. There's nothing wrong with that. Use all the tools to your advantage. And for me, to even consider saying, maybe I will refeed tonight, but maybe I'll just keep it at 2,000 calories. That is mind blowing to me because I have never done that before. Maybe it's something I can try and practice and be like, and also remind myself, I don't have to do this every single day. I don't have to eat 2,000 calories every single day unless I really wanted to, but it might be another tool that I get to practice and use. So now I have the power of fasting for long, fasting for short, limiting calories, going to the gym and using those calories to my advantage, and maybe even eating under calories every now and then. It is so important that you use what you can in that specific situation. That's how I see it. That's how I believe you'll find success because the one thing that stays consistent with all of these things, your tools might change every single day. You might use different tools on a specific day, but you know what stays the same is your accountability, is my accountability. The thing that stays the same day in and day out is I am here every single day and I show the good and the bad because that accountability helps me. I have coached so many people. I have coached hundreds of people at this point. But the one thing that is common with many people that I work with is the accountability, especially when things are not going well. That's when people flip, right? That's when I don't hear from people. That's when a bee is in my face, but I'm good right now. And oh, that's not a bee, that was something else. Think about this in your own personal experience. When you break a fast earlier than anticipated, when you overeat, when you say, ah, fuck it, I don't want to do this today, I'm just going to forget about it. When you skip a workout, when you skip your steps for the day, do you keep yourself accountable? When you have days like that, do you still put other mindful practices to use? Or do you just have that all or nothing mindset where you say, fuck it, I don't want to think about anything today? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to accountability. This is why I'm here right now, because I want to share when I am doing well and when I am struggling as well. Because when I share my struggles, when I share an imperfect day like yesterday when I ate food at a party and I went over my calories, it didn't change the fact that I'm still going to walk. I'm still going to lift weights. I'm still going to get good sleep because you know what? Last night it was like 9:15 or so and I got myself into bed and I literally just knocked out. I knocked out probably around 9:30, 9:40. I woke up 5:40, dead straight sleep, just straight 8 hours. Great sleep last night. Turned everything off, kept the place cool. And I'm like, I'm going to bed, like the old man I am, at 9:30 or 9:40. And I woke up this morning well rested, a bunch of energy in me, going for my walks, lifting weights at the gym. Why? Because the routine is there. Because I have, for me, every single day worked on practicing good, healthy habits. The goal for you, if you are somebody that is doing this all or nothing type thinking, is to tell yourself, hey, you do not have to fast perfectly, eat perfectly. All you have to do is show up and be accountable and keep working on the other things that are good for you as well. Just because you don't fast for as long as you thought, you have other good, healthy habits that you can keep up with. If you don't eat the cleanest, you can still perform other good, healthy habits day in and day out. That is how you will find success doing this. When it comes to my fasted refeed weights and my fasted weights, you can see here highlighted in red. This is what it looks like after a refeed. Yes, I gain weight after a refeed. We all gain weight after a refeed. 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 7 pounds. But if you look towards the bottom there was that day where I gained 11.4 pounds. Yesterday's refeed, everything I just showed you that I ate, I gained 4.4 pounds, a lot lower than my past refeeds. Why? I don't know. Because the scale is going to do what it wants to do. Does it mean that I gained 4.4 pounds of fat yesterday? No, it doesn't. If I were to gain 4.4 pounds of true actual fat, I would have had to gain, or I would have had to eat more than 15,000 calories yesterday. And you know how I know this is true? Because look at what happens the day after a fast. 4 pounds down, 5 pounds down, 6 pounds down. Look at what happened more recently, highlighted in blue, after doing a 60 hour fast. I think I was like 50 something hours fasted when, so if you look at the 11.4 pound gain, about 50 some hours fasted, 50 plus hours, about 50 plus hours fasted, about 50 plus fasted hours later, I was down 12.8 pounds. And actually, if you look at the last 3 fasted weights, I have lost more weight than I gained. And it's just continuing to drop the scale, drop the scale, drop the scale. And for me, I'm just continuing to lean out every single day that passes. But again, this is more than just fasting. On top of fasting and eating better and limiting calories, I perform cardio. I strength train. Yesterday, my step count was 16,520. I thought it was 16,000, so almost 17,000 here. My daily step average over the last 39 days is over 16,000 steps. And then when it comes to strength training, I usually strength train the day after a refeed. I usually refeed in the evening. I wake up in the morning. First thing I do, go walk to the gym, go lift weights after a refeed. Why? Because that's when I have most of my energy. That's when I have the calories in me. I might as well put those calories to use. When I'm fasted, 2 days fasted, 3 days fasted, I'm not really trying to lift heavy. I might not even be going to the gym at all. I might just be going for a walk for that day. Why? Because I don't have the calories in me. I don't have the calories to use to push energy like that. Because at that point, I'm working on getting a fast in. I'm working at clearing out my system, right? Use your calories to your advantage. That's why when many people, they start to like feel embarrassed or ashamed or guilty because they overate, shift the way you think, right? I mean, even Angela says here, the mindset shift is mind blowing. So good, Jerome, especially with all that yummy Filipino food. Thanks, Angela. I appreciate that. But even as Angela says, it's a mindset shift. When you overeat, when you eat more than expected, shift your mindset. If you overeat, ask yourself, how can I use these calories to my advantage? Should I go for a hike? Should I go lift weights? Should I work on that exercise routine that I've been meaning to work on? Should I push real hard now because I have the calories in me? That's what I mean. You have to look at this at all different angles. The 80-20 rule. I've been talking about this now on a regular basis. This is something that I follow, and it's worked pretty well for me. This is something that I have learned from other people who talk about fitness, but the 80-20 rule is when 80% of the time you are on top of your game. 80% of the time you are being mindful of what you're eating. You are getting your steps in. You're working out, right? You're taking care of yourself to the best of your ability. Now, it also doesn't mean that 80% of the time it is perfect. You just saw how I ate yesterday. That still counts as 80% for me because I really kept the calories in check to the best I could during a situation like that. And then the other 20% of the time, that's where I'm going to be eating more. I might be eating 5, 6, 7,000 calories. I might not be going for a walk that day, right? But in the grand scheme of things, 80-20 is a really good number to work with because, right, if I'm doing the math on that, oh, it's even more than that actually. I've always thought it was only 4. But right, if you look at a 30-day, wow, that shows how bad I am at math. If you look at 30 days, right? 30 days. Let me make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah. 30 days in a month. So, for example, September. September has 30 days, right? So for the entire month of September, for the entire month of September, 24 of those days should be on point. 24 of those days should be tracking your calories, limiting your food, making more mindful choices, getting your exercise in, getting your strength training in, right? 80% of the time. That's 24 days out of the month in September. The other 6 days, you get to be a little more lax with it. You get to eat what you want. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go insane on those 6 days and just be like, well, Jerome said now I can eat 15,000 calories today. That's not what I'm saying. You can if you want, but you know there are going to be repercussions with that. You're not going to get the results that you normally would if you're going to be eating that many calories. But 6 out of those 30 days, you get to be a little more relaxed. That way, you still give yourself that mental relief. This is a way to practice imperfect consistency. It doesn't even have to be that percentage. It could be 85-15. It could be 90-10. I mean, if you're looking at my numbers right now, in the last 39 days, 36 of them have been 80% days. That's more of a 92-8 split than an 80-20. Play it by ear. Take it day by day. Plan and strategize for the future, right? If that's helpful for you. One of the reasons that I feel good about what I do is because I am already planning and preparing as I move forward. Yesterday, I knew I was going to be at a family get together and I was going to be eating X, Y, and Z. But I also told myself, don't make yesterday, right? Or don't make that particular day a 20% day. Because yes, you're on vacation and yes, you can eat what you want, but me, I need to practice limiting my calories. I need to practice my eating lever, right? My diet lever. I have to get better at it. This is me trying to put it into use or trying to put it to use. This B is, and I know it's more than just one B because there are a lot of B's. So all I'm saying is you're going to have good days and bad days, and there's nothing wrong with that. The more important part here is can you show up? Can you be accountable? Can you be here and share your journey if that's helpful for you? Stop beating yourself up thinking that you have to do the most extreme thing ever. Fasting is extreme. Let's be real, right? If I end up fasting today and eating 0 calories, yes, that's obviously on the extreme end. Yes, that is kind of an all or nothing type thing. But you know what? I look at it as more of an all type thing, right? I don't mind giving my all. I don't mind pushing hard. For many of you, you know what that looks like. You know what it's like to push hard. But what I'm saying is you don't have to go the nothing route. Go all in if you want. You can go all in. But if you are not able to keep that momentum, do not go to the nothing route. Find that middle ground. Be okay with imperfection. Make sense? I hope so. Um, mm, Last slide here. So let's talk about my first 2 days of vacation. On the 29th, even on day number one of vacation, I fasted, had 0 calories, completely fasted. I shared this earlier, but it was my choice to fast that day. My flight out to Toronto was, I believe, like 4:45 p.m. And I told myself, I already knew. I was like, if I'm going to be flying out that late, that means I'm going to arrive in the evening. And by the time I get to Toronto and unpack, it's going to be late anyway. In a couple hours, I'm going to be going to bed. So let me just fast throughout the day. And that's exactly what I did, right? No calories. Yesterday, and that was my reminder too. On that day of fasting, I'm like, Jerome, the next day there's going to be a family get together. You're going to eat a ton of food. And yesterday, I got up and I knew everybody was preparing for the party and all the food was showing up, I was like, all right, try to limit. If I wanted to like go insane and eat, I guess I could have given myself that opportunity, but I really wanted to practice something different. And yesterday, yeah, I went over 3,000, but I didn't go crazy. I ended up eating 3,600 calories, 155 grams of protein. And if you look, so if we're just looking at the last 2 days of vacation, I've only been averaging 1,800 calories from the 29th and the 30th, which means that my TDEE, the amount of calories that I need to burn, or the amount of calories that I burn every day, is 2,300 calories, which means that right now I'm in a caloric deficit. Right now, I'm still going to be losing weight, which means that if I wanted to eat tonight, I could because I'm still at a good pace right now. There is a part of me that wants to fast today because I still have goals. I'm still trying to drop another 10 pounds or so. And it's not even the number that I'm trying to get to. I know that I have excess body fat on me and I want to get rid of it. And I know I'm on vacation, and my goal for vacation is to just keep my weight steady without gaining weight. That's really my goal. My ultimate goal is to not pack on weight, pack on fat, really. My goal is to try to find a medium here where I can still be with friends and family, still eat, but not go crazy. This is a new, this really is a new journey for me. It's not something that I'm accustomed to doing. It's not something that I've been known for doing because I used to fast for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and then eat 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 calories. This is me trying something different. Whether I'm successful at it or not, I don't know, right? When people ask me, Jerome, what if I do this? How can I do? You're only going to know until you do it. That's currently where I'm at right now, right? I'm at a place today where I am trying something different. I am trying something new. And whether it works or not, you're all going to see it because it's an extra tool that I can use. This is how this works. Build or gather the tools for your tool belt. Use every single tool to the best of your ability. That is how you are going to find success. Jerome, is this going to work? Jerome, is this going to work? Jerome, is what if I do? You won't know until you do it. You will not know if it is successful for you until you do it. And if it's good and it's sustainable and it's consistent, then do it, right? You found your answer. If it doesn't work, if you're struggling, if it's too hard, tweak it, optimize it, change it around. This is why, if you watch me at the very beginning of my journey, you'll see me do 90-hour fasts, 120-hour fasts, 160-hour fasts, right? You'll see me cycle through the fasting lengths. You'll see me eat at different calorie limits, right? 5, 6, 7,000 calories. At the same time, as the journey continued, they weren't 90s. They became 65s. They became 42s. And now I'm talking about being on vacation, trying to eat every day, trying to limit my calories in that way. It's not something I've been good at doing, but it's something that it eventually had to come to this point, because I'm at such a lean weight right now that I can't keep doing 90-hour fasts and eating 6, 7,000 calories. I guess I could if I really wanted to, but is that something that will be sustainable for me? I don't think so. I don't want to keep eating like that all the time, but every now and then, sure, because I can put it down. I can put 7,000 calories down, 8,000 calories down. You've all seen it. I've shown it to you. So yeah, I'll apply a 90-hour fast every now and then, maybe a 120-hour fast now and then, but it's just a tool that I use. You might be really good at fasting for a long period of time. That might be your superpower, right? That might be something that you're good at. You might be really good at pushing a long fast for that long. But that's okay, Mom. That's fine. You're okay. My mom was telling me they're going shopping. All right, thanks, Mom. Huh? Okay, all right. I'll see you. Um, bye, Mom. So sorry. My mom and my family are going out. Um, I lost my train of thought. Tools for your tool belt. Have them, use them, utilize them, optimize them, tweak them, right? Do not buy into this hype of this is the only way to fast. This is the only way to eat. This is the only way to do X, Y, and Z. Because when you are only giving yourself that specific whatever, right? When you're restricting in that way, life, I don't know. What is life when you are telling yourself, I will never eat this again. I will never, and I don't know, maybe for some of you that works, and I'm a big believer in, if it works for you, do it. As long as it's healthy for you, as long as your blood work is good, as long as you feel good and your energy is there, do it. But the way I see it is, if you want to eat a certain way, sure. If it's sustainable and consistent for you, sure, right? But if you think that this is the way forever, this is the way life is going to be forever, to me, I think it's a little short sighted, because life is ever changing. Things are always changing. Your body changes. As we get older, things don't work the same. I'm starting to realize that the older I get. Although I will say, being 44 years old, this is the healthiest I've ever been in my entire life. Some of you might be like, there's no way that's true. But if you all know, I've been morbidly obese pretty much my entire life. This is literally the healthiest I have ever been in my entire life. The most energetic I've ever been in my entire life, right? Again, to show here, it's only been 2 days of vacation. I'm on a deficit right now, only at 1,800 calories per day. Not something that I would have ever even expected on vacation. So those are my notes for today. I was gonna say we can do fit check, but I don't know how much space I have. Maybe I can move my MacBook further back. So let's go ahead. Let's do um let's do fit check. Hi, Miss Peaceful One. I see you in here. Miss Peaceful One, I know that yeah, I just want to share this with everyone. Miss Peaceful One says, I hit my goal for August, 189.4, down from 195. I'm so stoked. Miss Peaceful One, congratulations on your success. I mean, I love this for you. Miss Peaceful One is on our Wednesday live streams and shares a lot more there, but has has found so much success in working on her journey, finding good, healthy habits. And I really, really love that for her. So, congratulations. I love that. I love reading that. Um, Fit check, everyone. Just like I said, right? I've been overweight my entire life. I have been overweight, obese as an adolescent, as a teenager, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s. So, my entire life, this has been me in this state, weighing as heavy as 235 pounds at 5 foot 3 inches. Currently, I'm around the 140, 145 pound mark. That's kind of where I'm hovering at the moment. My goal is to break into the 130s. And honestly, it's really not even about the number. It's just to get myself to a really good body fat percentage, pack on muscle, feel good, continue to have optimal blood work, make sure my type 2 diabetes never comes back, make sure my high blood pressure never comes back. Um, and I've been able to do that naturally, right? And when I say naturally, I mean I don't take any medication. I'm not on any injections. I've never had weight loss surgery, right? I get to eat whatever I want. I practice a lot of this through fasting. I practice a lot of this through mindful eating, right? I practice a lot of this through this bee is still over my coffee and the coffee's not even there. Okay, bee. Oh goodness. Tommy. Tommy with a $20 Canadian super chat. Tommy, thank you so much for the support. I want to wish you good luck and support, Jerome. Tommy, thank you for the huge donation. Thank you for the support as always. Tommy's always a big supporter. I always see Tommy in the comments. Tommy, thank you for such a huge donation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, Tommy, I also wish you good luck and support. I also saw you ask a question here, and I was going to get to it. So let me get to that question before we do fit check. Tommy asks, "Hello there, Jerome. Do you have your compressed shirt on?" I do. Well, it's under right now. I'll show it in a bit, but yes, I have my compressed shirt on right now. Tommy, thank you again for the huge donation. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Um, Fit check. Let's do fit check. I'll try to see if there's enough space for fit check, but let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna move this big chair here. Oh yeah, and you guys can hear me, right? Because I have my AirPods on. So let me see if I can push this back, and then we'll maybe this works, right? And all just FYI, I still haven't showered today. It's been a pretty long day, so I'm still really dirty, but at least you can't smell me from here. There's a front shot right here. And then we got a side right here. And remember, I'm currently up 4 pounds right now. You all saw what I ate yesterday. I showed you what I ate. So I'm feeling a little bloated, but I'm feeling all right, right? Um, Front shot, side shot, and then rear, right? I keep forgetting you can hear me, so I can talk at any angle at this point. And then side shot here. Tommy asked if I had my compressed shirt on. I do. You see, right? See, this is the extra fat that I'm still trying to get rid of. Uh, my guess is it's probably right. I always say this, but I'm guessing I probably have like 10 pounds of fat on me. Maybe, maybe more, maybe less, but you know, feeling good. Thanks, Ray Questo. Ray Questo says they're looking super lean. I mean, I feel like I could lean out a little more. Um, thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that. You guys are so kind. But feeling pretty good, right? Even after eating all that food I ate yesterday, still feel pretty lean. Feel pretty good about my progress. Feel good that even though I could have eaten leche flan yesterday, and I could have eaten more lumpia. I could have eaten more caldereta. I didn't. I kept myself in check. That's big for me. It's new for me. It's not typically something I do, right? Um, so feeling good. Thank you, Miss Peaceful One. Thanks, One Golden Breeze. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So that is Fit Check. I guess it's time for Q&A. I will answer any questions. If you see me looking around like that, that's because there are a lot of bees back here, but the internet's a lot better here than where it was yesterday when I tried to live stream. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask them now. I will answer what I can. I know there are a lot of people in here. I see people in here. So if you're lurking and you have a question, don't like please. I'm here to help. That's the entire point of this, right? I'm here to help you get through what you're needing to get through. So if you want to ask a question, please feel free to ask. If there aren't any other questions, that's okay though, right? We'll call it. I mean, I do have a coaching session a little after this, so in the meantime, while I wait for any questions, if you're looking for help when it comes to fasting, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to accountability, if you're looking for an accountability coach or an accountability partner, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. You get to talk to me through a Zoom call. We can put a plan and a strategy together. I'll have a spreadsheet curated for you that you get to fill out, that you and I get to work through. It's a good way to be accountable. If it's something that you haven't done before, here's the thing about accountability. Here's the double-edged sword about accountability, right? Lowering that so you can, so it looks more as I can lean back here. Here, I feel. Here's the thing about accountability. Um, Accountability is hard. Accountability is very hard. It is a very difficult thing to do. Why? Because accountability is easy when you are doing the shit you're supposed to be doing. When you are fasting the way you intended, when you are eating the way you intended, when you are exercising the way you intended, accountability is fucking easy. When you are doing all the things you're supposed to be doing, you will fill the spreadsheet out. You will show up to the calls. You will be there every single day and do everything you're supposed to be doing. But what happens when you slip? What happens when you struggle? What happens when you overeat? What happens when you don't fast for as long as you thought you would? Many of us throw the accountability out the window. How do I know this? Because when I coach people and I pull up that spreadsheet and I see days are missing, when I see things aren't particularly filled out, I then begin to ask myself, maybe they're busy. Maybe something's happened in their life, right? All of these things. But for people that I coach regularly and we have a scheduled call, sometimes people don't show up on that call. They won't fill the spreadsheet out. They won't show up to the call. I'll email them. They won't respond to the email. I'll never hear from them again. Is this familiar? Have you seen someone else online do this before? Do you remember when I initially lost all of this weight? And all of a sudden I disappeared from YouTube for 2+ years? It is easy when you are doing the things you are supposed to be doing. It's easy to show up then. It takes a lot more to show up when you're struggling. That is why you are now seeing videos from me when I say I'm struggling. This is why you are seeing me do daily live streams even when I overeat like I did yesterday, because I'm trying to remove the guilt. I'm trying to remove the shame. I'm trying to remove the perfection of what so many of us think we need to do when it isn't about perfection. It's about imperfect consistency. So what if you didn't follow your diet to a T? What's more important? Eating a little extra, but then stopping yourself and coming right back into it? Or is the only perfect way eating perfect forever? Do you think that's going to be absolutely sustainable and consistent for the rest of your life? Or did you forget that sometimes you socialize? Sometimes you get invited out with friends. Sometimes there's a reunion. Sometimes there's a wedding. Sometimes there's a loss of a loved one. And now all of a sudden your head is in a place where you never thought it would be in. Life happens. It's okay. You will get through it. We will get through it together. And I promise you this because I'm literally here every day. Every single day I am here without question, even on vacation. Now, I don't know if I'll be here every single day forever, right? But for now, I'm here showing my accountability. I'm here letting you all know that we're in it together. Finallyfasting.com if you're looking for help in that way. You can also check the website if you want to support me with merch that I sell. I sell stickers. I don't have them because I don't even have a home right now. Um, finallyfasting.com for merch like hats. I'm wearing a Bulls hat right now, but if you want to support me in that way. At the same time, if you want to support me in a different way, if you go to the link in this live stream, there's a link there where you can be part of the Finally Fasting fam. You can be a member. You can support me in that way, and you'll get your name on the intros of the live stream. You get custom emoji that you can use. And if you join the higher tier, you can join us on Wednesday evenings where we have accountability live streams where we all get together as a group and have a group coaching session that's a little more intimate. There are people who get on camera or, right, we all talk together. It's not just me talking the entire time. So please feel free to check that out in the link in the live stream if you want to support in that way. So, okay, let me see if there are any questions. Oh, I do see some. See, I knew some of you here were lurking. I'm just giving you a hard time. I appreciate you. DT says, new here, is the compression shirt for loose skin? So my answer to that might be yes and no, I guess. I mean, yes, I suppose. I do wear a compression shirt because it kind of smooths things out. Um, so yeah, in that way. And DT, I appreciate you asking the question. And I usually say this on my live streams, but yes, I do have loose skin. And like actually you can, because of the light, because there's more light or whatever, the loose skin on my skin is a lot more apparent. I'm sure you all can see this loose skin here, right? And like the really interesting thing about it, right, is I sometimes I think people don't realize how big I was before, right? So like even as you look at this, right, and you look at my head, like just the size of my head and my neck is so much bigger than where it is today. I mean, I cannot explain how maybe the best way, and I don't know. I remember trying to put on a dress shirt that had a size 20 neck and it still wouldn't fit me. Back then I would have to like either get it tailored or I would have to just put the tie up real high to make it look like I had the top button. This here, this stuff right here, this is the stuff I'm most insecure about. I don't like it, but there's not much I can do outside of surgery. But I'm also in a place right now where I told myself, get down to where you want to be ultimately first. and then figure out if that's something you actually want to do. But yes, so in a way, I have the compression shirt for that. It kind of smooths things out. I do have, and I'm not wearing a t-shirt, so I can't show you. I do have loose skin on my upper arms, mostly on my lower belly, on my upper inner thighs. So it definitely is a thing. But it is one of the reasons I wear that compression shirt. I've been wearing it for so long now that I forget that maybe that's why I wear it sometimes, but it does. I feel like it smooths things out. But, and actually, I think, well, I'll talk about it later. I do have a new, because now that I have more time, I'm working on videos and working on like shorts and stuff. And so I do have a video where I think I will be maybe discussing more of my loose skin in the future. So maybe something to take a look at. Willie, hi Willie. Willie Young says, question. I was wondering what length of a fast I should do to break my 232-pound plateau. So Willie, the real it's not, it's not that there's one answer for this, right? Um, if you're plateauing right now, right, at 232 pounds, the maybe the question first is like, what have you been doing fasting wise? Because I think whether you fast for a long period or not, it even comes more down to your food choices, the amount of calories you're putting in, right? So if you're plateauing at 232 pounds, the question is, are you eating more that the weight is pushing itself back up and the length of fast you're doing is just not long enough to offset that? So if you're somebody who is doing, let's say, a 36-hour fast, but then you're telling me you're eating 5,000 calories, maybe that's why you're plateauing, right? Or you might be in a situation like Aisha, who is 35 days fasted and will occasionally stall and stay at one specific weight for days while being fasted for that long. So it still comes down to two things, Willie, is your fasting length and the choices you're making with your food and how many calories you're putting in. You can absolutely lose weight through fasting for shorter without having to fast for 3, 4, 5 days. But it really comes down to what your intake looks like. Um, Let me know. I mean, if I see you answer here, I'll see if I can get back to that. Adley, did I say that right? Adlian, Adlian, Adlian David says, how did you push through your first prolonged fast? Did you feel faint? So here is my two answers for this. One, yes. When I initially fasted in 2018, I pushed an 11-day fast cold turkey. It was probably the most insane thing I've ever done in my life because I had never done anything like that before. When I did an 11-day fast, I did feel weak. I felt tired. I had headaches, and I would never put myself through that again. I would never want to feel that way again. I say this to you, Adeline, is if you are feeling faint, people ask me this all the time. So when I fast, right? When I fast currently today, whether I'm fasting for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, whatever length of fasting I'm doing, I will never get to the point where I feel faint, feel completely weak, feel like I cannot function. Because if I feel that way, and if anyone feels that way, my recommendation for you is break your fast and then go again, right? Do not get hung up on fasting for X amount of hours. What you might need to do right now, Adeline, is build your fasting muscle and just go again. Now, obviously, you can try other things before you get to that point. If you're starting to feel weak, see if you are see if getting your electrolytes in are helpful. Sometimes just getting your electrolytes in, I used to take just a pinch of salt, put it under my tongue, I'd feel better. Sometimes I would have an iced coffee, feel better. Sometimes I'd have a Diet Coke, feel better. And it would help me prolong my fast. So you could try those things. But if that isn't enough and you're still feeling faint, if you cannot feel like you can function, break your fast, go again. There's no shame in that. Don't feel guilty about it. Just get yourself back into it, right? This is how you build your fasting muscle. This is how you build good, healthy habits. my aunt today, she was asking me if I was gonna eat, and um, she was like, because you fasted yesterday, right? You didn't, or you fasted 2 days ago. You didn't eat all day. And then I was like, oh, actually, I didn't eat for 3 days. And then she gave me this look like, 3 days. And I'm like, you wouldn't have guessed it. You wouldn't have guessed that I was 60 hours fasted unless I told you, right? And she's like, no, I had no idea. She's like, you went for a walk that day and you went to the gym. I'm like, yeah, because it doesn't affect me in that way. So that's my recommendation to you, Adeline. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that's helpful. Ray Questo asks, I'm on day 6 of a 7-day water fast. Congratulations, Ray Questo. How did you get through 10 days, especially near the end? I don't know if you're asking me or are you asking somebody else that has been in it. How did I get through 11 days when I did an 11-day fast? When I did an 11-day fast back then, I actually took time off of work. I actually was not working at all. I would not recommend it, at least for me. And, request of the same thing goes for you. If you're feeling weak or faint or feel like you cannot function, break. Just break and go again, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to go for another 6-day fast or 7-day fast. The same thing for you, Adeline. It doesn't mean that whatever fast you did before, you have to do it again. Maybe what it means then is you get some shorter fasts in you. Maybe you just do OMAD and you work on eating better, right? You will get that longer fast in again. You just have to keep showing up and practicing it. So keep me posted, Rayquesto. And Rayquesto, if you need even more motivation for that, I do have a video called Overcoming Hunger where I talk about what I've done to prolong my fast. So take a look at that as well. Okay. I think these are all the questions for today. And we're an hour and a half in, and I think I have a coaching session in half an hour. So let me double check on that actually. Mm, where's my calendar? Yeah, calendaria. Um, I do. I have a coaching session in 9 minutes. So, with that being said, I think that's our Sunday live stream for today. I know it's a little earlier today. I feel bad for it's usually Wanda and Andre. Wanda and Andre usually show up to my later Sunday night live streams, but I have plans later today. So um, I still don't know if I'm eating tonight. And I'll say this, whether I fast or I eat tonight, I know that today will not be a 20% day. I will still make it an 80% day. I will still keep my calories in check because I want to make this a really successful vacation week where I'm trying to work on my calories. I will have a 20% day. Don't get me wrong. I think I told you all of this. On day 7 of my vacation, when I fly back to Chicago, I will be having a 20% day and I will be eating everything in sight. No, but I will be eating a good amount. So we'll see what today looks like because for the most part, I know we're doing stuff tonight and I want to partake. I just might be doing it either in a fasted state or keeping my calories in check. So we'll see what that looks like. And then we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. Will you be here tomorrow? Will you show up tomorrow? Will you show accountability? Um, Adeline, you're very welcome. Who else? Ray Questo, you're also welcome. So no problem. Again, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer questions. I'm here to continue building this community and building the support for those that need it. And I really want to thank everyone as well who is in chat right now, sharing and being kind to others and helping other people out. I really think it's something that I'd love to see because I think it's something that's missing from maybe other support groups or communities out there. So thank you again for all of that. Um, Tomorrow we'll do this again. Tomorrow I have to figure out what timing looks like because tomorrow I have a big day. So tomorrow might be a morning live stream because I might be leaving early and I might be gone the entire day. So we'll see what that looks like. Tomorrow might be a morning one for sure. I know it won't be later in the afternoon or later in the evening for sure. Sorry, there's a B. Um, Tommy. I wanted to say thank you to Tommy for the $20 donation today. Tommy, it's super appreciated. Thank you for your support. I do want to thank all my Finally Fasting members as well. Thank you for being part of the Finally Fasting fam. It means a lot to me for you to support me in that way as well. And then to all the other people in chat, I know just because you don't support in that way doesn't mean that you're not important either. You're all so important to me. I appreciate the people who are here and who want to make this a thriving community, who want to help each other out. That's why I don't tolerate bullshit here. When people start yapping around and saying there's only one way to do something, it's like you can fuck right off. I mean, you really can. I really do not care. Um, we all have our own journey. We all have our own ways of finding success. The only thing, right, that I see here is that we are trying to be happy and healthy. We are trying to find the optimal way of living our best life. And that is all I'm looking to promote. So people can say what they want. People can talk shit. People can say, I don't really give a fuck. I do not. I don't tolerate it. I have no time for it. So thank you so much for being here today. As always, we'll do it again tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a morning live stream. It'll probably be out here just because the internet's good here. I have to jump on coaching session in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna give my normal wave goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you want accountability, if you want to show up tomorrow. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Also remember, don't let the scale fuck with your head. The scale does not change your value of worth. All right. Whether it goes down or up, it shouldn't change the value of who you are as a person. Don't forget that. You're not alone. We're doing this together. I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye.